Hello, everyone, and good evening. Well, it's not actually evening. Well, kind of. It's afternoon. I am Adam Samuel. Welcome to another episode of Reality Hour. Today, we are talking Dancing with the Stars. Our premiere episode of the kind of the season breakdowns. And here to join me is Grace. How you doing today, Grace?
I'm doing well, thank you. Dancing with the Stars is back. So every week from now until Thanksgiving, it's Adam and Grace, the show.
And with the occasional sprinkle of Eric showing up every now and then.
Yes. Season 33.
Yes.
Ew.
So what do you think of the show? How do you think how do you think it went?
It was a good show. A lot of the dancing was good. One thing across the board, the scores were very inconsistent. I saw it was mostly with the lower scoring couples, like sixes that probably should have been fours. And I know that they used to after season 27, they purposely started lowballing. And I don't know if we're just over that at this point now, because I guess season 27 has been forgiven at this stage. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get over it, but yeah, and I know nobody's amazing week one, so there's always room for growth, but very happy to be back on the show.
Is there anyone you would say surprised you, kind of that you maybe went into the show with not too high hopes, that maybe you have a different thought of now?
We'll get into that. My biggest surprise in a good way was actually Brooks on your team. I did not think
when I picked her.
I did, because models never do well, but she actually pleasantly surprised me.
Well, we will be discussing her along with the rest of the contestants in our breakdown, but I guess we could get into it. Unless, what do you think of the judges panel, of anything kind of more surface level before we get into the nitty gritty of the contestants themselves?
Eric, be quiet. Just stop. So honestly, the judges and the hosts, there were no changes from last season, which didn't bother me at all. And this week there wasn't really a theme. Each celebrity was asked to pick their own personal anthem, which basically translates to whatever the hell they want to dance to. And nobody went home. So let's get into it, starting with our bachelor, Joey.
Joey is on my team. And
yes.
I'm trying to pull up the dances on my phone.
In the country.
Kick us off. What did you think here?
So Joey is the most recent bachelor, which means he's not famous, but he is very pretty. Overall, it was good. There were a few clunky parts, but for week one, very solid. He was one of the higher scorers, and I think he's going to be around for a while.
I agree. I think he'll be top half, but I don't know if he's the top. If we break the top half in half, I don't know if he's in that. He just falls short. If we break it into four. He's kind
Never underestimate the power of Bachelor Nation, even if the vote is split this year, because we have two.
Yeah. We'll see. I think he will definitely. I don't see a winner here, but I see a potential semifinalist.
I do too. Straight 7, so he was pretty high on the leaderboard, not number 1 though.
All right, let's keep it going. Another one of my contestants. We got Brooks. "Piece of Me" is her song choice.
I like this song.
Yeah, not as good as the first contestant, but still pretty solid.
It was kind of stiff, but she exceeded my pretty low expectations. 6s across the board, which I thought was fair. I think she's going to survive next week, no doubt. We'll get into the elimination of next week when we get there. But I don't see her having too much longevity, especially if Gleb just decides to not give a crap like he often does.
We'll see. I think she's kind of just on the bubble. She's right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Smack dab.
That's fine for now. Even though, well, spoiler alert, next week 2 people are going home. But normally the first ones to get eliminated are the ones at the bottom of the pile. And I think at least one of those people will definitely be going home. The people on the top are going to be fine. The middle of the pack are the ones that really need to have a good week if they want to stick around.
But it probably won't be Brooks. But next up from Team Grace, we have Alona.
Yes.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Do you, though? Really? Something you're not telling us?
I was just going with the song choices. Well, hi, Grace. What'd you think?
Honestly, Alona, I love her spirit. She is just so lovable. I can tell how nervous she was. I can tell that she was kind of holding back. I know she has it in her. The scores, I probably would have. I was thinking 5s, but she got 6s. I don't know what these judges are doing. I never do. But I mean, I just hope she has a better week. And I think once the people with all 6s are pretty much the middle of the leaderboard. I think she's one that could potentially pull it out more so than Brooks or Anna. But we'll see.
I agree. I'm not sold on Alona or really Brooks. I think they're kind of in that exact same spot as you said, both middle pack. Yeah, I don't see a potential semifinalist here, but we'll see.
No. And next, still on my team, the lovable Reginald Vell Johnson, who barely danced.
And he got a 6. He got 1 6.
Yeah, I don't know what Carrie Ann was. I would have given it a 4, honestly. And here's the thing: it wasn't the worst first week dance I've ever seen, but the judges were right. He barely danced, and unless your name is Harry Jowsey, you can't get away with that for very long. Do we need to? I'm not resurrecting the tree trunk thing, but
I think he's in trouble. I think he might make it through this week, but I think if there's a double after, I'm a little worried.
There's a double this week, and he was second lowest in the scores. So he and the other 2 in the bottom 3 are the ones in the most danger if they don't pull something out. And I do think he's going to be better this week, but I'm hoping everybody's better in week 2 than they were in week 1. But he is really likable, and that often wins you points as well. So we shall see. Like I said, he might survive this week. I would be really upset if he didn't, but I don't know. I don't think he's in it for the long haul. I mean, he's the oldest this season, so obviously he's not in it for the long haul.
Let's talk about Danny.
Yes. Danny, very competitive. It was one of the better dances of the night. And I think Derek said it later on with a different tango. A lot of them were just placed too high. With a tango, your knees are bent the whole time. And he needed to be lower in that. And I don't know. It was one of the better dances of the night. Some people are already calling him in the final 4. I think it's way too early to tell at this point.
I agree. I also think he's more towards the middle. Do you think there is an easier dance to start the season off with? You mentioned tango being very hard. Is there an ideal format? If you were on the show and you were just starting it, what would the first one, what would you want to be? I feel
what it used to be is before they got all the themes, it would be half the couples got a cha-cha, the other half got a foxtrot. And it would be 2 dance styles, and they would alternate weeks between Latin and ballroom. They don't do that anymore because everything's themed, so they just get whatever dance they get. And I mean, I'm kind of used to that now, but part of me kind of wishes they would go back to it. They're not going to. But I don't know. I did like him though.
All right. We'll see. Let's keep going. Who do we got next?
Tori Spelling.
It's
a trust fall.
Remember how I was breaking the rankings into quarters? There's the 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd, and the first would be the semifinalist.
Yeah,
she was at the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, she was 3rd lowest on the leaderboard. She only got 1 point higher than Reginald. And if she makes it to most memorable year week, there will be a Shannon Doherty tribute. Mark my words. For those of you who don't remember, Shannon Doherty was also on 90210, and she actually just passed away earlier this year from stage 4 cancer. She was also a contestant on season 10. She was the first one eliminated, but she shouldn't have been.
Wait.
Anyway, back to Tori. It was okay. A lot of people I'm seeing online didn't really like it, and it was one of the lower scores of the week. I think she's got enough name power to last longer than some of the other couples, but if she does not improve drastically, she is not going to make it to Halloween.
Yep, I agreed. But you know who will be making it to Halloween? See, this is what we missed about the show, these pivots, the transition. Eric's contestant, Jen, with the Miley Cyrus song.
Yes. The recently broken up with can buy herself flowers. I mean, I get it. They pick their own songs. But
if Eric wins, what are we going to do, Grace?
It could happen. Jen, I thought was really good. I still see room for improvement. It was clean. I thought the 19 was a bit of an underscore, actually. I actually liked her better than like Danny and Joey, but apparently I'm the only one. I still think she's going to be around for a while. It's just at some point she and Joey are going to split votes, and I don't know who's going to take over. Probably whoever dances better.
Probably her. Let's be honest. She's in that. Remember the quarters? She's in the one bracket, not number one, but just like in the top bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler.
Speaking of number one.
What?
Speaking of number one.
Oh boy.
My number one pick and number one in the scores this week. Adam, I hope they play Hot to Go.
Oh boy. What did you think of Chandler?
I knew she was going to be great, and she was the best of the night. Very fun, confident. Derek also pointed out she could have been lower, but if you expect perfection in week one, you shouldn't. And if you've been watching the show long enough, you know that you shouldn't expect perfection in week one because it's never happened and probably never will. But hey,
yeah,
Chandler was great.
She's also in the one bracket.
Oh yeah, she's outstanding. I'm not entirely convinced she's going to win just yet, but if she stays number one in the votes, I will be polishing the crown if I know where it is.
But you know who might get me the crown, but probably won't, but maybe Dwight. Bit of a surprise here. He did pretty well. I would say this was the contestant I was most surprised with.
They were the second highest score this week.
They got an 8.
Yes. So yes. Well, Chandler got 2. But Dwight, a lot of people were happy with Dwight and Daniela because they remember how well Daniela did with Iman. But again, as I said, Iman was not consistently near the top of the pack. He was actually consistently pretty low. And then that contemporary was one of those performances that was so good that it catapulted him quite a ways. And it was just right at that perfect time where that ways was to victory. But yeah, Danny kind of freaked out because of the height difference. I mean, he is almost 2 feet taller than her. She's 5'3", he's 6'11". But no, my favorite part of this dance, and this is actually kind of funny, but like there was this one part where Dwight lifted Daniela and she just looked at the camera like this. Just like, yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, they were great, and I do think that like Daniela now knows, since she was with Iman, how to choreograph for a tall guy, and that's going to play in their favor pretty well.
Okay. All right. We got Eric up next.
Yes, old man number 2.
He's Emma Roberts' father, I've learned.
Yes, and Julia Roberts' brother. And he is the other old man. And okay, if you can't walk down the stairs in time with your partner before you even do any dancing, you know it's going to be bad. They might have danced more than Reginald. I mean, Derek compared it to IKEA furniture. Like, I don't know, like clunky, some assembly required. I don't know. I'm broken. And when Bruno called it a good try, that's not a compliment. And he got the lowest score of the week. I think he is in serious trouble next week, on Tuesday night, rather.
Yikes. Yowzers.
Yeah. Some people actually did like him better than Reginald. I was not one of those people, but I don't know.
Let's talk Phaedra from
I'm
with a reference
mad
to the Traitors.
woman. It's all in me. All right. Yeah, Eric. I put a message about the show and I mentioned how that Eric was the worst, and our Eric thought that we were talking about him. So Eric will not be confused much longer. And Adam, you are very glitchy. And now I can't hear you.
I'm very glitchy.
There we go. Okay. Now
And
Phaedra
now my
is
Wi-Fi is.
okay. Phaedra was every woman, and she's got Val, who's the reigning pro champ, 3-time winner. And I would say like upper middle for her. Like even she knows she's not the best dancer, but she is willing to put the work in. And as on like there was another winner who admitted that they weren't the best dancer, but they were going to have the most fun. As long as Phaedra's season doesn't end the same way, I'm okay with that. But I think she's going to be around for a while.
She's in the twos. Remember, like she's upper half, but I don't know if she's not in the. I don't want to break this into like eighths, but
No,
she's in that two spot. Yeah, we'll see, but I think she'll be here for a bit.
I do too.
Same for our next contestant.
You're the first overall pick.
My number one pick, Steven.
Having a good time.
Having a good time, and he's gonna be here. He's got it.
This dude is just adorable. He really is. Even though he's a Penn State grad.
Ooh, some bias.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so it was a lot of fun. It could have been cleaner, but he's just so lovable. Way better than anything Riley did with Harry last season. That's my second Harry Jowsey jab this week. Hopefully my last one. He was third in the scores, which again, he is going to survive the week, no problem. He's probably going to make it to Halloween week. A lot of people think he's already going to be in the finale, but they've been saying that for a while. I think it's too early to say, but I do like him.
We'll see. I have high hopes for him, but I do not have that high hopes for our final contestant, Anna.
Who gave her the pimp spot?
Did something happen at the start of the performance? It seemed like she kind of like brushed her partner off.
Honestly, one thing I noticed during their intro, because they always show when the couples find out who they're dancing with, Ezra, I could see there's like a look of very much concern on his face. And I don't know if I'm the only one. Like, and we've seen every reaction. We've seen people excited. You know, Daniela, we had the, oh my God, he's so tall. But like Ezra's just like, oh, my partner's a criminal. We're screwed.
A literal criminal.
And also, somebody pointed out the Song of Espresso. I didn't know this, but apparently in the music video, Sabrina Carpenter gets arrested for credit card fraud. So they thought that might have been intentional.
Oh boy.
And the ankle monitor getting to coordinate with every outfit, with every costume. I'm gonna get over that entirely. And also, I've never been on house arrest, so I don't know how much that affects the mobility in her case, but it wasn't terrible. And I know the judges are going to be impartial because they have to be. Unfortunately, the viewers are not going to be so kind, and some people are just never going to vote for her. But I feel like she's just there for either career hab or the money, and I'm not sure which one. Maybe. Because, like, even Julianne asked her why she's doing the show, and, like, she's like, because why not? That's not an answer. Adam, I can't hear a word you're saying right now.
Probably the money. to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen how much money they get for being on the show. And now it's the Grace Show. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Grace.
Hey, where's Adam?
He's gone.
R.I.P.
I though genuinely do not Google the joke I just made in the chat. You will be happier if you don't. But
I believe it.
I
mean, Anna was the last one, so if Adam's not coming back,
back. There he's back. He's back.
Okay.
1 second. Let me adjust the background.
Am I back? Is it still glitch?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Oh, we got an Eric cameo.
All right. So, thoughts on how long you think Anna's gonna make it?
Halloween.
Really? You think she'll last 5 more weeks?
On name alone, yeah.
I think you're.
I mean, I would be. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see her go next week. Even like I said, with 2 couples going home, usually
for a convicted felon. I think this week.
Well, I've said this before. Double eliminations are always hard to predict, especially since the scores are combined and they haven't even danced yet for this week. But
does it look like X Factor, where if it's double elimination, the lowest person, the lowest number of votes goes home automatically?
They actually, I mean, that's how they did it when the judges' save existed. Last year, the judges' save didn't exist.
Oh, perfect.
So
great.
If it, and I have not heard any word on whether or not it will be back. But if it is, then they do them X Factor style. Lowest vote getters eliminated outright. The other 2 are put up for the judges' save. And there's 3 judges, so there's no chance for a tie.
Yeah. Those are the contestants. We kind of went through them a little quickly, but
we did.
Who are your 3 people in most danger right now?
I would say Eric. Basically, like the top 5 score-wise are going to be fine regardless of what they do this week. The bottom scorers were Eric, Reginald, and Tori in that order. I think all 3 of them are in. I think Eric is in the most danger because he was the lowest, and I don't think he has the ammo that the other 2 have. But if they have a good week, any of them, they could pull themselves out of safety. The others, it depends on the week that they have.
All right.
And you can't.
Well,
okay.
I'm back.
And speaking of which, should we move into Tuesday night?
Yeah. What do we got? What's on the docket?
The popcorn and the movie theater snack boxes, which I actually have one right next to me.
What's the theme?
It's Oscars night. So these are all songs from Oscar-winning films, not all Best Original Song winners.
Can I take some guess of like what's going to be here? Just I haven't seen this. I'm going to guess one of them is going to be Shallow.
Yes.
One of them is going to be La La Land.
Yes.
Hold My Hand from Top Gun.
There is a song from Top Gun, but not that one.
What are some recent? What one?
What are some other Lady Gaga songs?
Go through the Lady Gaga songs.
What's that?
Wait, so what did I say? I said Shallow. I said La La Land. Something from Dune, probably.
Nope.
No, nothing from Dune.
Anything from Disney or Pixar?
No, and that's actually a thing because, like, somebody pointed out, like, there weren't a lot of Best Original Song winners. I mean, some of them are, but like a lot of Disney movies have won that. But Disney has their own week later in the season.
Okay.
All right. So should we get into what everybody's doing?
I'm just something from Oppenheimer, or maybe.
I said no Disney. All right. Should we get into this?
Lagging way behind.
Just read the list.
Okay.
Read the list.
And we can have the reactions to the song choices. It's alphabetical by celebrity's last name, as always. Danny and Whitney will perform a jive to Danger Zone. That's from Top Gun. Kenny Loggins.
Okay.
Anna and Ezra, this is another jab, are going to perform a quick step to Suddenly I See from The Devil Wears Prada.
God, it just gets worse and worse.
I know. Joey and Jenna, as Adam already guessed, will perform a rumba to Shallow. Adam's other guests, Dwight and Daniela, will perform a foxtrot to City of Stars. Chandler and Brandon will perform a rumba to the current Best Original Song winner, What Was I Made For? Alona and Alan will perform a salsa to I've Had the Time of My Life, Dirty Dancing.
Goodbye.
He's
to
gonna
that.
do the like the lift.
Oh, I hope so. Although, I don't know. Alona's a bigger girl, so hopefully Alan's got the upper body strength. Because, like, I mean, Alona's a rugby player. She's all muscle.
Does Alona have any chance of surviving after that song choice?
Hopefully. Brooks and Gleb will perform a quick step to 9 to 5.
Oh, I love that. I was just in Dollywood, so I have that song ingrained in my head.
Another hilarious pick, Steven and Riley will perform a Paso Doble to the Superman theme.
I'm good with that.
I love John Williams, so I'm all for it. But, like, there have been things since the Olympics that Steven looks like Clark Kent. So
That's why they picked it, obviously.
I know. Phaedra and Val will perform a foxtrot to And I'm Telling You, I'm Not Going. See, that would be hilarious if she went home just for the irony, but I don't think she will.
Yeah.
Eric and Britt will perform a waltz to the Godfather waltz. Very surprised they didn't pick a movie that Eric was actually in.
It insists upon itself.
Worst song choice of the week, Tori and Pasha will perform a rumba to This Is Me.
Yay! We got the Greatest Showman.
Jen and Sasha will perform a tango to A Little Party Never Killed Nobody. Great guess. And finally, Reginald and Emma will perform a Paso Doble to Ode to Joy, which was apparently in Die Hard, which Reginald is in, but it's probably used in like 5 billion other movies. It's Beethoven.
Anything else?
The opening number we don't care about. 2 people are going home next week, probably because the following week the show's getting preempted, which we'll talk about later. But that's it for this week. And I don't know, again, get the popcorn, get your box of movie snacks, get whatever else you like during movies.
Well,
and
I guess.
Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. Where can we find you, Grace?
You can find me on Twitter, Threads, TikTok, even though it's private, and getting some pumpkin things because it's fall now.
Yeah, same. That was you stole my line. And you just, I don't know, at bookstores, I guess. That's where you can find me. Where can we find you, Eric?
Trolling you guys in the comments next week.
Well,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.